Welcome to our third meeting, Earthly Sisters and Brothers. The topic I will introduce today will refer to celestial messengers. Messengers understood as bearers of the seeds of expressed life. Celestial because they concern the astronomical sphere. I have chosen to use these two terms because they are familiar to your sensibility. I will begin by quoting one of the most frequently asked questions in the history of humanity. Is there life in the universe? There is only one answer. Nothing that is not alive exists. Doubts about the visible existence of other intelligent forms have been investigated throughout history, academically by science and emotionally by common sense. These doubts have four branches: the anguish of separation, of oblivion, of futility, and of loneliness. However, these branches stem from a single root, namely the hope of not being lost in the unknowable vastness. In turn, this hope alternates with the agonizing concern of a possible encounter with the other, imagined as alien. These are thorny tentacles that are difficult to manage for those who are still taking their first steps in the sensory experience of being an individual within an organized society. I will gladly explore this specific topic in more depth in a future message. Here, I will limit myself to expressing what I have experienced. We are all equal as emanations of the One. We are all unique and therefore different in our individual experience as multiple entities. By emanation of the One, I mean the infinite being simultaneously animated by spirit and matter. By all, I mean the atoms of light at work. In the previous communication, mention was made of cosmic realities prior to the unfolding of the cosmic portion currently investigable from Earth. For my part, there will be no specific scientific references to draw upon. They would be inappropriate and useless in this context. Instead, I intend to suggest the events of which we are all direct witnesses. Since the absolute exhalation of the origin, the first substance that emerged was identical and immanent in every indeterminate plurality of universes. Imagine it as a sort of double reticular fabric, one formed by perennial neural interconnections essential to global information, as well as by nutrients drawn upon by planets and life forms at a certain stage of evolution that no longer require food intake. The other maintains its perfect golden geometries, acting as a sentinel to prevent excess aggregation from occurring in spatial segments at critical densities. Balance is constantly maintained through conscious observation of manifestations in the making, expanding the usable space while correcting its curvature ad hoc. These two perfectly balanced realities are the foundations on which manifestations take shape and life. They reveal how futile attempts to measure them in scientific equations have been and will be. Just as futile is the human attempt to predict the flattening or implosion of space-time universes in an unimaginable future, based on the erroneous assumption of their possible random preponderance rather than on their actual scientifically collaborative equality. Gravitational force, electromagnetism, and the two nuclear interactions specialized in strong and weak forces that characterize interconnected networks constitute the four laws that can be superficially probed by scientific research. The fifth, however, escapes us. I will call it the founding creator, or the masterful agent acting on dark photons, Although fleetingly observed for some years, its meaning will never be investigable. It is the treasure chest of the inspiring mystery enclosed in the infinitesimal, which, compared to the accessible, constitutes 90% of the scientific enigma referred to today by Earthlings as dark matter and dark energy, respectively. On these welcoming foundations, the nests of molecular clouds, each with its own unique characteristics of mass, specialization, and density, roll like huge bushes on the desert sands, carrying and scattering the seeds of life. From their heart are born the embryos of stars and interstellar nebulae, shrouded in the most beautiful light or dense darkness. These open like cosmic eggs, giving rise to protostars, stars, comets flirting with the solar wind, planets, satellites, galaxies, and other inconceivable manifestations. Stars have memories and decision-making functions with regard to their evolutionary cycle. The latter differs greatly between subjects that may appear similar in appearance. Some decide to die by giving life to a planet. Like loving maternal arms, they surround it and breathe into it, passing on their experience. Others nourish it with themselves, providing it with part of the mass of which they are made, shrinking and allowing their child to progress. There are wanderers, hungry for life, who use their time to shine in distant and diverse regions. Others have already experienced this phase and desire a less spectacular existence, more settled and useful for the creation of other realities into which they can eventually transmigrate. Nothing dies or is lost in the vastness of the project. Every form of expression, thanks to highly specialized creative particles, retains its primal energy, which, enriched by the experiences of the group and the individual, will evolve until the fulfillment of its line of knowledge. In the next message about the meaning of belonging and experiencing, I will tell you about the origin of Earth and her brother Orpheus, who heard her cry for help and sacrificed himself in the emanation of the satellite called Moon, an essential prerequisite for the creation of Earth's sons. May my words reach the hearts of those who feel a similarity with their deepest self. For any other listeners, do not expect them to be anything more than gentle tales of ancient fables. Until soon then, I am with you. NAD-Ir.